Jenna texted, "I am quitting my job. You will support us while I find myself." I replied, "Not my problem," and accepted a job overseas starting Monday. 10 minutes later, Mom wrote, "Banned from Thanksgiving until you signed your sister's $150,000 loan." That night, I reviewed my accounts and removed shared payments in my name. 43 missed calls. My name is Alex. I am the oldest kid, the first to leave home, the first to get a steady paycheck. If you ask my family, they would say I am good with money and responsible. If you asked me, I would say I am a background guy. Useful, quiet, there to hold the ladder while everyone else climbs. My little sister Jenna is the golden one. Different rules, different tone of voice. Same house, two realities. When we were kids, I did chores for allowance. She got surprises for trying her best. In high school, I bought my own used laptop with tips from bussing tables. She got a new phone for safety. That pattern never stopped. It just learned bigger numbers and better excuses. I work operations for an international logistics company. It is not flashy, but it is stable. I track shipments, fix processes, make things run on time. I like numbers that add up, bills that clear, calendars that are real. My life fits in a spreadsheet. My family lives in a group chat. The last Sunday dinner I went to was 1 month ago. Mom had a roast in the oven. Dad's game was on mute. Jenna breezed in 20 minutes late wearing an oversized sweater that probably cost a car payment. She kissed Mom's cheek, dropped onto a chair, and immediately asked, "Do we have lemon water or just regular?" I was chopping parsley. "Sink works," I said. She made a face like I had suggested drinking from a puddle. Aunt Rose leaned across the table. "Alex, you are not still renting, are you? That is just lighting money on fire." "Working on it," I said. Mom did not look up from basting. "He likes to be careful," she said. "He is good with that. Our planner." Then she tapped the oven door with the back of the spoon and added almost lightly, "Besides, Alex is comfortable. He is not like Jenna. She is creative. She is meant for more." Jenna put her chin in her palm and smiled without teeth, like a magazine advertisement. "I'm figuring stuff out," she said. "It is a journey." I kept chopping. Dad turned the volume up for a replay and said, "Alex, grab the bill when it gets here." "I forgot my wallet in the car," I said. "In the kitchen," I added. Everyone chuckled. It was an easy joke because it was an easy assumption. Of course, I would cover the bill. I always cover the bill. Later, in the living room, I told Mom I was thinking about taking a short-term assignment abroad. 6 months, I said, maybe 1 year. She waved it away with the hand that was not holding her glass. "Sweetie, that is not realistic. Your sister needs you right now." "What does that mean?" I asked. "Do not be defensive," she said. "You know how Jenna is, she just needs a little runway." Jenna wandered in, checked her reflection in the black television screen, and said to me, "You will understand when you let go a little." Something small and old shifted in my chest. It was not anger. It was that heavy, familiar feeling I used to get as a kid when the teacher said, "Group project," and everyone looked at me because they wanted an A without the work. I put the knife down. "I brought dessert," I said. "It is in the fridge." Aunt Rose called from the table, "You are a doll." Then, quieter to Mom, thinking I would not hear, "You are lucky to have him." Mom answered without lowering her voice, "Of course we are. That is what family is." There was a pause, the kind where you are supposed to nod and agree and be grateful for being needed. I nodded anyway. And that was it. That tiny moment, no shouting, no scene, just a little reminder of the rules. Jenna dreams, I do the dishes. Jenna finds herself, I find my wallet. That night I lay on my couch staring at the ceiling and felt the old aches settle in. The one you mistake for love because it started in the same house. I slept badly. I kept hearing Mom's sentence loop in my head. She needs you right now. Right now was about to become a number. I could feel it. The money stuff did not start huge. It started with, "Put it on your card. We will settle up." The first time was a family plan for phones, just for 1 year. Mom said, 1 year became 5 years, $216 a month. Then Netflix, $14.99. Then, "Can you add your sister to your car insurance for now? $96 extra." I told myself it was fine. I could afford it. It kept the peace. After college, I stayed home 2 extra years to help while Dad's hours got cut. I paid half the mortgage temporarily. Temporary turned into, "Do not rock the boat." When I finally moved out, I left my name on the power bill because the auto pay was already set up. "We will switch it," Mom said, "next month." Next month got bumped by birthdays, by your grandmother's knee, by "we are so busy." I kept a list on my phone. It had dates, amounts, confirmation numbers. It looked like a normal person's notes app in a small account and had a baby in there. Meanwhile, Jenna tried things. A bakery internship, a travel blog, a wellness coaching certificate she never finished paying off. I loaned her $400 for books once, then $850 for a deposit she would lose if she backed out, then $1,200 when the car died. And somehow it was my problem because I used it last winter. I wrote the amount in my notes and put 2 stars next to any I believed would never return. She calls money energy. I call it rent. Why push back? Mom said. They are small things. When I sent a Venmo request to Jenna with a friendly, "Hey, can you tackle this week?" she replied with a heart emoji and no money. "Do not be transactional," she said in person. "It is gross." Dad's line was always, "Family is family. It evens out." It did not. It just got tidier. The asks were packaged better. We thought it would be simpler if one person handled the payments. Mom texted once and attached a photo of our water bill with my old account number circled in blue pen. "You are organized," she added. "We will get you next time." I am not a saint. I am not a martyr. I am a guy who can do math. I kept helping because it felt easier than fighting. It felt like leaving a light on for people you are not sure will ever come home. Last winter, I got offered a rotation in our Dublin office. 12 months, housing stipended, travel paid, a raise. It was everything I say I want when I am being honest. I half accepted, then paused. I told him I needed time. In my family, leaving was not just leaving. It was abandoning. It was, "So you think you are better than us?" I told Mom about it in January. She said, "We will talk after Jenna figures out her next step." Her next step became a man named Caleb in an apartment they could not afford. He is a nice enough guy. He wore a beanie to Thanksgiving and called my mother ma'am, which she loved. In March, Jenna and Caleb got a dog. In April, Jenna decided her boss was toxic and quit. In May, the group chat got busier. Rent is predatory. Landlords are vampires. Capitalism is violence. I muted it for 8 hours and went for a walk. By June, I had covered 3 tiny things. The phone bill when Mom's car got weird, the car insurance when Jenna had a limit on Venmo, and a surprise vet bill because the universe sent us Daisy. $216, $96, $347. Numbers that felt small until they became a stack of straws. Mom's language shifted around then. She started using we. We were thinking. We could all pitch in. If I asked who he was, she said, "Oh, Alex, do not start. You know what I mean." I know exactly what she means. The first time the number $150,000 showed up, it was not in a text. It was a binder, white with tabs. Mom slid it across the table like she was giving me a college brochure. "Jenna is opening a studio," she said. "There is a whole plan, a year of runway. She just needs a guarantor to unlock better terms." "A guarantor," I repeated. Dad cleared his throat. "It is just your name," he said. "It shows confidence." "It shows liability," I said. Jenna twirled a strand of hair and said, "It is not that deep." "It is exactly that deep," I said. 150 grand is deep. It is an investment in family." Mom said, "We would do it for you." They would not. They never had. I closed the binder and slid it back. "I cannot co-sign a loan for you," I said to Jenna. "I love you, but no." She rolled her eyes like I had refused to share fries. "Wow," she said. "You are so tight." That night, Mom called and cried. Dad called and did not. Aunt Rose sent a voice note about seasons and abundance. Jenna posted an Instagram story about financial abuse with a paragraph from a blog about siblings who hoard wealth. Caleb texted me a thumbs down emoji. I put my phone face down and watched the ceiling fan trace slow circles in the dark. The Dublin offer sat in my inbox like a door half open. I could feel air moving through it. Then came the ask inside the ask. "I am quitting my job. You will support us while I find myself. Not yet in words, but soon." I could hear it coming like a train around a bend. The track was already laid. It arrived on a Wednesday at 8:12 a.m. I was brushing my teeth. My phone buzzed on the sink. Jenna texted, "I am quitting today. I cannot do the stress anymore. You will support us while I find myself." There was not a question mark anywhere in that message, just the certainty of someone who has always landed on a cushion she did not sew. I rinsed my mouth, looked at my face in the mirror, sleep-creased, ordinary, and typed back with my thumbs. Me? Not my problem. I hit send. My hands did not shake. I was not mean. I was concise within 60 seconds, Mom. Call me right now. Jenna, are you serious? Caleb, bro. The Dublin email was still open on my laptop. I scrolled to the bottom and clicked accept. Start date Monday. Flight assigned. Apartment arranged. It felt like putting a plate back in the cabinet where it belonged. 8 minutes later, Mom sent the all-caps classic. Banned from Thanksgiving until you signed your sister's $150,000 loan. I actually laughed. Not loud, just a small private sound I had not made in years. It sounded like relief wearing a cheap disguise. 10 minutes after that, my phone lit up with a FaceTime from Dad. I answered. They were on speaker. I could see the kitchen behind them, the fridge calendar with everyone's names except mine. Mom did not waste time. You will apologize to your sister, she said. You will fix this. No, I said. What do you mean, no? Her voice went high and then thin. I mean, no, I said. I will not be supporting 2 adults. I will not be co-signing anything. I will not be on the hook for 6 figures because you are rewriting reality with feelings. Dad leaned toward the phone. Watch your tone. My tone is calm, I said. It is going to stay calm. Jenna barged into the frame, mascara already smudged in a way that made me think of a stage play. You are so selfish, she said. You are punishing me for being different. I am not punishing you, I said. I am drawing a line. You have never believed in me, she said. I believe in you when I paid for your books, I said. When I covered your car insurance. When I added you to my phone plan. When I paid your vet bill. When I sat through 3 different launch parties for projects you abandoned by the next Thursday. She sucked her breath. You are keeping score? Yes, I said, because I am the one paying the bill. Mom tried a new angle. If you leave now, she said, you abandon this family. I will leave Monday, I said, for work, not for spite. Oh, he thinks he is better than us, Jenna said, tearful and theatrical. I stood up straighter and spoke like I was on a call at the office, because that is where I learned how to be clear. This is not about revenge, I said. This is about closure. Silence, then laughter, the mean kind Dad does when he thinks he is the smartest person in the room. Closure from what, he said. Doing your part? From being the plan, I said. From being the quiet solution. They all started at once. Mom with blame, Dad with volume, Jenna with accusation, Caleb with bro syllables from somewhere off camera. I did not raise my voice. I repeated myself like a policy. I am not your guarantor, I said. I am not your salary. I am not your emergency fund. Dad jabbed a finger at the screen. You will regret this. I already regret not doing it sooner, I said. I ended the call. I put the phone down on the counter like a hot pan and stared out the window. Across the street, my neighbor was watering his tomatoes. The sun hit the side of the building and made a rectangle of light on my floor. Nothing exploded. Nothing broke. The city kept moving. 15 minutes later, a group text arrived. Mom, family meeting tonight. Alex, I will not be there. Mom, you will come. Alex, no. Jenna, I hate you. Alex, I love you. I will not finance you. Blue bubbles, gray bubbles. Blue, gray, then just gray. Long paragraphs about sacrifice, about everything we did for you, about the way you talked to your mother. I set the phone face down, opened my laptop, and forwarded my signed acceptance to Human Resources. Then I emailed my landlord my notice, booked the airport train, and wrote myself a list with boxes I could check. It felt like building a small raft while the tide turned. It felt like leaving a room I had outgrown but kept cleaning anyway. That night, I did what I should have done 1 year ago. I opened every account that had another person's name on it and started cutting strings. Phone plan. Remove Jenna and Mom. The system warned me 3 times that someone would lose service. I clicked through. Total monthly savings, $216. Car insurance, unlinked Jenna. Effective date, midnight. New premium back to mine alone. Savings $96. Streaming services changed my password. Disabled the television in a living room that was not mine. $14.99 back to me, not the money, the principal. Utilities, power and water in my parents' house still had my name on the auto pay. I set the next payment to manual. Removed my card and email on the contact info to transfer the account. Dad, subject line, transfer by Friday. Clear, boring, true savings. Moved my emergency fund, $132,400, into a new bank I had not told anyone about. Set alerts, froze my credit, requested new cards. I made a spreadsheet called Exit. Each row was a rope I tied around myself to keep a ship from drifting that was never mine to steer. By the time I was done, my phone said 58 missed calls, 17 from Mom, 8 from Dad, 12 from Jenna, 6 from no caller ID. I let them stack. The voicemails came in waves. First angry, then pleading, then quiet, seething ones where Mom breathed into the microphone like she wanted me to feel her disappointment through the speaker. At 11:27 p.m., Aunt Rose texted, "Sweetheart, can we talk?" I stared at it a long time and did not reply. She was the kind one, but in my family, kindness often came with a clipboard. I slept with my phone in a drawer. In the morning, the number was 58 missed calls. Group chat, 142 unread messages. Caleb had written 3 paragraphs about masculinity and mutual aid. Jenna posted a photo of Daisy with a caption about nervous systems and safety. Mom posted a meme about ungrateful children. I made coffee. I packed a suitcase. I rolled my socks. I took down the whiteboard calendar from my wall and wiped it clean. At noon, Dad showed up on my door. He knocked hard like a cop in a movie. I let him knock. He called my name. I let him call. He jiggled the handle. I sipped coffee. After a while, he left. A minute later, a text arrived. Coward. I wrote back, boundaries. He sent, "You think words protect you?" I typed and deleted and typed again. Then sent, "No, policies do." Mom kept up the percussion. Banned was her new favorite word. Banned from Thanksgiving, from Christmas, from the family chat, while also being tagged in every message in the same family chat. It was like being told to leave and then having the door shoved open in your face. At 3 p.m., Jenna sent a photo of a contract. "We need your signature by 5 o'clock, she wrote. "The bank closes at 6 o'clock. Read the sentence where it says joint and several liability," I replied. "Then read it again." "You do not love me," she shot back. "I love you enough to not let you drown us both," I wrote. "I love you enough to stop pretending money is a vibe." She sent me a voice message. I did not play it. Then, "Daisy misses you." I stared at that and felt something twist. I did not love that dog. I also love my future. Love is not a payment plan. I went to my storage unit and made 3 piles. Keep, donate, trash. The key pile was smaller than I expected. It looked like a life that could move. On my way home, I passed the corner bar and saw Caleb inside on a stool telling a story with big hands. He did not see me. I kept walking. Back upstairs, I printed my flight information and taped it to the inside of my front door. It made the plan feel solid. Train at 6:20 a.m., Terminal 2, Seat 21A. My job had arranged temporary housing near the office. The photos looked clean and boring, and like a place where nobody would ask me for a login. At 7 p.m., while the non-negotiable family meeting apparently happened without me, my phone went quiet. An hour later, it lit again. "Mom, final offer, sign the loan, keep your number in the plan. Thanksgiving is at Aunt Rose's at 3 o'clock. You can carve me." "Alex, no, Mom." "Why are you doing this, Alex?" "Because the only way to stop being the plan is to stop being the plan." "Nothing for a while." "Then Mom, we will not forget this." "Alex, me either." I took a shower. I set 3 alarms. I texted my friend Mike the airport time and the address of my place, just in case. He replied with a thumbs-up emoji and "proud of you, man." I lay in bed in a quiet apartment listening to a neighbor's dishwasher hum. I thought about the binder, with tabs and the way Mom had pushed it across the table like fate. I thought about 43 missed calls and the shape of my life when nobody else's hands were on it. It was not peace yet, but it was quiet. Quiet is what you get first when you finally refuse the noise. Thanksgiving came early for me that year. It arrived on a Monday at 7:35 a.m., with a gray sky over a new city and my breath fogging in front of me like a cartoon speech bubble. I moved into the company flat and learned the grocery store hours. I bought a kettle because everyone said I needed one, and a cheap plant because the window looked sad without it. I set up my work laptop on a small desk and taped my little spreadsheet of bills to the side. It had 5 lines now, all with my name only. The first week I woke up expecting the old rhythm. Texts before I had finished coffee, little fires in other people's kitchens. Instead, I had emails about shipments and morning meetings that ended when they said they would. I walked from work along a canal and counted dogs. I learned the sound the crosswalks make here. I cooked for one and ate all of it. On Wednesday, a screenshot from my credit monitoring app popped up. New inquiry attempted. Blocked. I smiled at my plant and watered it a little. That night, Jenna sent a photo of a turkey emoji and, "Are you happy?" I typed for a while, then erased it all and sent, "I hope you find what you are looking for. I cannot fund the search." She did not reply. Mom sent a message that started with, "I should not say this," and then said it anyway. I read it. I did not answer. The next day, she sent nothing. That felt like a new holiday in our calendar, Empty Box Day. I made myself a small plate on actual Thanksgiving. Roasted chicken breast because turkeys here look like a commitment. Potatoes, green beans. I FaceTimed Mike and held up my plate. He held up his, a greasy slice of pizza. Tradition, he said. We laughed. After dinner, I opened my notes app and looked at the old list, dates, amounts, the breadcrumb trail of how a boundary disappears when you keep stepping over it. Just this once. I scrolled to the bottom and added a line. I will not cosign chaos. I will not be leveraged with love. I will not call neglect help. I will not trade peace for access. I will not apologize for keeping what I earn. I will not be the plan. I read it twice. Then I wrote one more sentence. The only one that mattered if I wanted any of this to stick. I will love you without paying for you. It was not a victory speech. It was a memo to myself, the kind you put in a folder and check when you feel weak. The kind that holds when the text comes soft or loud or in all caps. People think closure is a door slamming. It is not. It is a door you finally stop holding open for people who never plan to walk through it. I am not banned from anything that matters. I eat what I cook. I answer what I want. I earn. I save. I sleep. This is not about revenge. It never was. It is about not confusing being needed with being loved. It is about refusing to be a wallet with feelings. My name is Alex. I am 31. As I sit here in this quiet Dublin flat on New Year's Eve, with the city lights flickering across the canal and the faint sound of fireworks starting in the distance, I finally have the space to feel everything I've been carrying for years. My name is Alex. I'm 31, and for the first time in my adult life, I'm truly alone. Not lonely, but alone in the way that lets a person breathe deeply without wondering whose expectations are filling the air. Looking back, I realize I've spent most of my life being the reliable one, the steady background against which everyone else's brighter colors could shine. I was the ladder holder, the bill payer, the quiet yes when everyone else practiced their no's. I told myself it was love. I told myself it was duty. But really, it was habit dressed up as virtue. A slow erosion of my own edges until I barely recognized where I ended and their needs began. When Jenna sent that text, I am quitting my job. You will support us while I find myself. Something inside me didn't break. It simply stopped bending. It wasn't dramatic. There were no tears, no grand realization in the mirror. Just a calm, almost clinical clarity. This pattern ends now, with me. I didn't reply out of anger. I replied out of exhaustion. Not the tired from work kind, but the bone-deep weariness of carrying people who never once asked if the weight was too much. The ban from Thanksgiving felt almost comical in its predictability. Of course, family access would be weaponized. Of course, love would come with conditions and price tags. But standing in my kitchen, reading Mom's all-caps declaration while the kettle clicked off behind me, I felt something I'd rarely allowed myself: relief. Pure, unfiltered relief. Like setting down a backpack I'd worn for 15 years without realizing how heavy it had become. Cutting the financial cords that night wasn't about punishment. It was about survival. Every account I removed their names from, every autopay I canceled, every password I changed. It felt like reclaiming pieces of myself I'd loaned out without interest, without timeline, without appreciation. The money itself wasn't even the point anymore. It was the principle that my labor, my planning, my careful choices weren't communal property just because we shared DNA. The missed calls, the voicemails, the group chat bombardment. They hurt, of course. Hearing Mom's voice crack with that particular disappointment she reserves for when I fail to play my assigned role, watching Jenna's theatrical tears on FaceTime, even Dad's predictable anger, it all stung. But beneath the sting was something new, a boundary that held. For years I'd confused guilt with love, obligation with connection. Now I could finally separate them. These months in Dublin have been quieter than I expected. No morning texts about someone's emergency. No subtle hints about bills due. No family dinners where I'm simultaneously invisible and indispensable. I've learned the rhythm of a life that's just mine. Grocery runs where I only buy what I want to eat. Evenings where the silence isn't waiting to be filled with someone else's crisis. Weekends that belong entirely to me. I miss certain things, if I'm honest. The familiar chaos of Sunday dinners. The way Mom used to hum while cooking. Even Jenna's dramatic entrances, in small doses. But what I don't miss, what I refuse to romanticize, is the constant undercurrent of being used. The way my reliability was treated as both infinite resource and character flaw. The way my caution was mocked while my wallet was celebrated. I've come to understand that real love doesn't require self-erasure. It doesn't demand that one person shrink so others can expand without consequence. My family taught me that being needed was the highest form of being loved. I've learned, slowly and painfully, that this was never true. Being needed was just convenient. I don't hate them. I don't wish them hardship. I hope Jenna finds her way, truly finds it, not just drifts toward the next soft landing. I hope Mom learns that love isn't measured in financial rescue. I hope Dad discovers that family isn't a hierarchy of who provides and who receives. But their journeys aren't mine to fund anymore. Not emotionally, not financially. I've built something here, a small, orderly life that fits me properly. My spreadsheet has 5 lines now, all with only my name. My plant is thriving. My sleep is deep and uninterrupted. I wake up without the low-grade dread of what fresh expectation might be waiting in my notifications. This isn't a victory over them. It's a victory for me, the quiet kid who always held the ladder, who finally realized he was allowed to climb too. I'm not banned from anything that matters. I'm free from everything that was slowly killing the parts of me that dared to want more than being useful. As the clock ticks toward midnight and another year begins, I feel something I haven't in longer than I can remember, possibility. Not the vague, dreamy kind Jenna chases, but the solid, earned kind that comes from knowing your worth isn't tied to your willingness to pay for other people's choices. I am 31. I am starting over, not from scratch, but from truth. And for the first time, that feels like enough.